anywhere, so why should we?
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. And with me, right over there, nope, right over here, is my friend, the real Geno Reynolds. And we just watched, I don't know what, it's called The Fanatic, but I don't know what we just watched.
Yeah.
Because this movie's been around. People have been talking about this movie forever. I've seen so many reviews for it that I felt like I'd already seen it. And so when it came to watching it, I didn't think I'd come away with anything, except you really do have to experience this movie to fully understand. No, you don't fully understand it. But you do, like, I'm glad I experienced it on a certain level. But like we were talking about, I've seen a lot of reviews make a lot of jokes and I guess kind of laugh at the ineptitude of the filmmaking. But for me, I mean, first impressions, as I'm going to say, is I didn't find anything funny about this at all. And it was pretty damn offensive. On all fronts. I don't know. What are your first impressions of this before we get into everything?
Like you, I was ready to go in this and laugh. I wanted to laugh at this so bad. I had heard it was funny. Heard the performances were funny, and I kind of get where people are coming from with the performances, because they are a bit ridiculous to see it. Especially Travolta's performance. But honestly, this movie, look, I had a bunch of jokes as I dropped a couple in the chat. I had like Limp Bizkit jokes and stuff just in my head that I wanted to drop, during this. And after a while, I'm like, I don't want to make these jokes because it's just not funny. This movie isn't funny. A lot of this movie was pissing me off. Look, why don't you set up the movie for those that didn't watch along with us, and then we can get into what we thought. That way we got at least the movie set up as well as you could set up this masterpiece from the master of rolling and break stuff.
Well, okay, real quick, I'm gonna say a few other things. The next watch parties we're gonna be doing Chadwick Boseman movies. We thought we actually, that the idea was floated out there to do one tonight, but I feel like we did the promo and, I still wanted to laugh. And so I went with this. Probably should have went with your idea. But when we set up the next watch parties, we're going to start doing Chadwick Boseman movies, probably starting with 42. The way that those will be set up probably will be like some of my 420 reviews where we watch it together. But it probably won't go up on YouTube. We'll probably be able to do it live, but it won't be anything that stays on the channel for anything that's not already like a watch party movie, because a lot of his movies are not available through streaming services, except for the one that you mentioned, Geno, on Netflix, and I think there's one on HBO. The other thing is I did get my new camera today. I have to play around and figure it all out. I don't know when it'll be used on the channel. Hopefully sometime this week. But that's the other thing that's going on. But as far as setting up this movie, so John Travolta is this guy named Moose, who is clearly on the spectrum. And he loves this guy named Hunter Dunbar. And Hunter Dunbar, played by Devon Sawa, he seems like one of those actors who's kind of on the wrong side of, the downslide of his fame. He's still known, he's writing books. And Moose is this character who plays a British Bobby or cop, whatever you want to call him, on the Hollywood strip, like a lot of people do, dress up like famous people for tips. And he's obsessed with Hunter Dunbar, and he will stop at nothing to make a connection with his favorite star, which starts to escalate quickly and gets more and more dramatic as the movie goes on. But it's all that's the basic premise, and he's encouraged by a girl who apparently is like a paparazzi who has admittedly low moral standards. She even kind of says like, I'm one of the people here that's kind of a sleazeball. And that's the basic setup, and how it turns into a horror movie for Devon Sawa by the end of it. That's the setup. The rest of it is bizarre choices by everyone involved, inept directing, a horrible script. No, it's not funny. It's a very, I don't know. It feels very one-sided. You don't know who you're supposed to feel sorry for by the end of this. I feel sorry for the audience. I feel sorry for people who might get affected by this negatively, by idiots who might watch this and think it's funny to make fun of people on the spectrum. This movie isn't for anybody. Like, I don't recommend this to anybody, and I don't think that this is a so bad it's good movie.
No, it's what not to do movie. Yeah. 100% what not to do.
Yeah, so you can after that setup, I'll let you, because you look like, wow, man, you gotta look.
Okay, look, this movie, deep down, this movie might have had a good idea, deep down, where it could have dealt with how like a mentally ill person might see life, and how the people around him might steer him in the wrong direction. But it didn't even really deal with that. It would say, they would just give him the worst advice ever, right? And they never said if he was, I mean, yes, you said clearly, and clearly he had like autism, or at least a form of autism, or Asperger's, or something like that. But they never really talked about that. I mean, everyone was just steering him in the wrong direction. You're right, his paparazzi friend, narrator of the movie, mind you, worst friend ever. And why did they kept saying BFF or BBF, not BFF? Did they ever say what that stood for?
No,
it was supposed to be best friends forever, BFF, but they kept saying BBF anyway. They were like, maybe it's best buds. I don't care. I give up already.
Yeah.
But they never dealt with that. If they would have, I'm not saying it would have made this movie good, but I mean, look at a movie like Joker, for example. Okay, I know you're not the biggest fan, but at least it was dealing with someone that had mental issues and what could happen. Yeah, throw the Batman stuff out of there that kind of hurt that movie. Just dealing with someone and what could happen if he's not getting the help he needs, right? This movie dealt with none of that, and that just pissed me off, because it's just like bad advice after another. You got to stand up for yourself, so let's choke not David Blaine. It was just all escalation for this character, and it was hard to feel sorry for him, but then it was hard to feel sorry for the guy he was stalking, because that guy, he was trying to be a good dad, and he just was, he's, like you said, he was an actor kind of on the downslope of his career. But he was in a lot of the, I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time with this guy, because every time he'd see him, it was, of course, he comes to your house, you're going to be pissed. He comes, the way he approached him in the alleyway near the first. Yeah, he was in, he just had an argument with his ex or whatever. She was the mother of his kid. And yeah, of course he threatens the guy. It just, every time he's around him, he's threatening him, so it was hard to root for that guy, even though a lot of the times, rightfully so, he was mad. But this movie just felt incomplete, and they weren't dealing with the mental state of John Travolta's character. Again, I don't think it would have saved this movie if they had, but at least there would have been some character motivation. I don't remember who mentioned in our chat during the watch party that there was a quote from Travolta saying this is like they let me create this character or whatever. Yeah, that may have been in his head that I was playing this guy that had some kind of mental issue, right? That or had some kind of affliction. But of course, if the movie doesn't bring it up, it doesn't count. You just have this guy, and he's just this character. I don't know. I'm ranting and raving.
No, yeah, that was Bill's comment, and yeah, this movie needed it. It needed if you want to humanize John Travolta, if you really want to like feel sorry for him, you need to show that he had maybe people that were trying to help him, maybe a caseworker, a social worker, somebody who would, talk about him, that he would have to talk to once in a while. To see where he's at in his life, somebody who could say, hey, besides this narrator, that explain it to the audience, what he's really, going through in his head, even if it still results in the same thing. At least show that there was something out there. He just seemed to be untethered to the world. Like I was saying, like, how does this guy even pay bills?
Yeah.
Making money, like you mentioned that Hollywood Strip documentary.
Confessions of a Superhero. A very good movie, by the way.
It's a very good movie. And, if you look at that, those people don't make a lot of money. Where he was living, that costs money, a lot of money to live down there. So they don't also explain where he gets his finances from. There's no, like, you don't know if it's like some sort of trust from like maybe a dead family or whatever. He's just completely out there, like, alone. And yeah, I guess you could say also that there are people out there that are completely untethered like this and that need help and aren't getting the right kind of help. But in this kind of movie, it just doesn't work. Like, it doesn't work that somebody would be able to just have this life. And I mean, like, everybody he meets, every friend, quotation marks, that he had were like the absolute worst one-sided friends, that just, I'd say that they were keeping him around for like shits and giggles just to laugh at him, but they were written to actually show like they cared, but they everything that they did for him seemed to be an exact opposite of help to anyone. Like, it just like the guy who sold him the jacket for $300 seemed to be like, I'm your, like I like you, but I'm everything I'm saying and doing to you is actually the opposite of what a friend does. And so there's that side of it where you don't know how to feel sorry for him, even though you watch his mannerisms and his movements and the obsessive attitude that he has, and my heart kind of reaches out to him. But then, the way that this is filmed and written and performed it takes away that humanity. And then you get Devon Sawa, who actually, I joke around about he's actually kind of that, he is perfect for this role because he is that kind of actor who, was really big in the late 90s, early 2000s, and has not really been heard from much in the past 10 years or so, maybe more than that. And he is pretty, he is actually kind of good in this movie as far as like what is given to him. But yeah, they have him written to be, they give him that he's a good dad or wants to be a good dad, but everything else in his life is he's just, I think that they were trying not to make him too unsympathetic, but because he has valid points, but he doesn't do the smart things like in a horror movie. Like, he doesn't call the cops.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes to his house where his kid is, and he tells him to not go away, and as soon as his maid says this guy was in the backyard, the first call is to the police, not to start making out with your maid that you have a past sexual relationship with. It's just, it's just so messed up from head to toe. And yes, we did get that scene where he's in the car with his son going, here's that Limp Bizkit.
I think was it you that said the kid should have just said no, they suck. That would have been
No, that wasn't me, but somebody
okay.
said it.
Somebody said that, said no, you should just say they suck. And honestly, if they would have put that in the movie, it would have been pretty funny. I think there was some stuff in this movie that I think would have worked had this movie been set up better. I thought where you have this, you have John Travolta's character, imitating other movies. The Reservoir Dog thing I thought would have been great in a better movie. Just the way he started singing, Stuck in the Middle with You. And it's just like, if only this were good. If only this were good, I would have enjoyed that. Bill said that was me. That was me. He was the one that mentioned the Limp Bizkit should have sucked, or should have said Limp Bizkit sucked. That was just, I got to make sure everyone remembers who I am. I better put Limp Bizkit. You think they would have put a more recognizable Limp Bizkit song on the radio, but maybe that's from their new track from the album that no one even knew existed. I don't know. Look, the character in this movie, obviously needed help. And only really I could consider one of those characters trying to be a friend. The security guard guy, cop guy, whatever. Him telling him to stand up for himself makes sense, right? Because you're letting these guys pick on you, stand up for yourself. Of course, I mean, the girl that's narrating the movie, the photographer, of course, she's just scum anyway, but she should know at least how he is. That, oh, I'm going to give you this app, and I thought maybe you just want to see where the houses are. I didn't really think you'd go down there. Dude goes to every autograph signing and everything else, right? He's a collector, and plus she has to know he's mentally unstable. You don't give him that. You don't give him that app. Come on, you knew what he was going to do with it. She even says, I don't want you to be going down there or anything. I don't want you to get in trouble for stalking. Foreshadowing. I mean, you knew that the magician guy, the not David Blaine, I mean, of course, you knew he was, I mean, he wasn't a friend. So, I mean, at least that made sense. It was kind of a catalyst. It gave him someone to attack first, I honestly thought he was going to take out his photographer friend in the apartment in that one scene where she come to visit him. I thought she was going to take he was going to take her out then. I thought he was going to kill somebody, multiple people eventually. I mean, at least, I don't know. They tried to make him sympathetic in the end, of course. And, Hollywood ending, the crap with the maid. I mean, we were joking throughout the whole movie. Have they not found the maid yet?
Yeah.
How many days was that? Like 2 days, 3 days that the maid laid in the middle of the yard? Come on.
Yeah.
No one saw her out the window laying there.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say, is that I don't go out in my yard very often, but I look out the window every day. I look out all the windows to my backyard just about every day.
Yeah. Now, I don't remember the letter he had. Was it still out there?
Yep.
Okay, so, I have a feeling. Is there a sequel coming to this?
Oh, no.
Desiree says, problem with telling someone that with his disability to defend yourself, they don't know the limits if you don't tell them. That's just it, though. That guy may not have known this guy's, because he just seemed like an acquaintance more than a friend, the security guy, like just someone he saw there every night, doing the whatever you want to call it, the British cop or whatever that he was imitating on the street trying to make money. He just seemed like an acquaintance. He probably wouldn't know. I mean, you could probably just tell by talking to him that he had something going on, but that would be the kind of friend that, quote unquote friend that wouldn't know what the guy was going through. His photographer friend, if she's like his BBF or whatever, she would know, at least have an idea that he has some kind of disability, but she encourages it, him tracking down, I mean, she didn't encourage him to track it down, but she gave him the means to do it, this movie.
Desiree's saying it was all one day, that he literally broke in, left, broke in again, killed
Was it
Maid,
all
left,
one
and
day?
stormed back. It was all one day.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
It felt like 2-3 days to me, the way it was getting
Yeah.
bright and dark. But
And the way that it was edited, yeah, it felt like,
that was a
and
mess
it could.
anyway.
The thing is like it was filmed so incompetently and edited so incompetently that she could be right, we could be right, but it, in the end, it doesn't really fucking matter.
Well, I could believe it was one day, but yeah, the movie was a mess anyway. Hard to tell, you know.
Yeah, in a movie this bad, it doesn't really. In the end, it doesn't really matter. I mean, they forgot about her so that he would be blamed for the murder at the end. Like, like, and he, he gets arrested, right? The gardener's there. Does he even still know why he's getting arrested? He looks like he doesn't know. He just looks like the gardener's there, shows up, hey, we're here to arrest you for the murder of blah blah blah. Wouldn't he be like, what are you talking about? He looks calm. He's getting let out, like he just like, okay, probably to me it says that he's getting arrested because they found Moosey down the road bleeding out. And he's like, Hunter Dunbar did this to me. And for all he knows, that's what he's getting arrested for, not the freaking maid in the backyard. Even though he probably sees like the stretcher going into the backyard. But we know that. And I guess with the way the movie ends, you assume that the way it ends, Hunter Dunbar goes down for the murder. Even though like everybody's saying,
there's a letter in the backyard.
Yep.
They're not going to find it.
Yeah. And to test the blood, it's not going to be hers.
Or no, wait. Did Moose take it from her? Or did he leave it there? I don't remember. See, I think I didn't care.
Yeah. If they don't care about those details, why should we? Like if somebody's going to go, well, actually, I saw him with the letter later. Like, who cares what you saw? Because this movie doesn't care. This movie didn't care about any of that.
No.
And at all. And I don't, we've talked about this. I love John Travolta as an actor. I think he's a great actor. But that whole thing that like what Bill was saying in that quote, that he got to make this character, this original character that no one, has ever done before. And, and let me have like, this was like his favorite experience. And every single choice he made in this movie was bad. Every single aspect of this. Now, I know that the script says certain things. He's got to read the script, right? But I feel like a lot of this was improvised. I feel like a lot of this was just have fun, John, because Fred Limp Bizkit Durst is probably going, I got John Travolta to be in my movie. I got John Travolta to be in my revenge fantasy about like what happened to me, back in the day when I was actually famous. And probably let him really just loose. And with what John Travolta's past has been like, with the hardships he's had with his family, and this pre, his wife.
Right.
It makes me like, and seeing a lot of the movies, like he used to be a marquee actor.
Yeah.
You used to see his trailers before movies and be like, all right, the new John Travolta movie. I don't know what's going on with him. I won't speculate. But he's been making movies like this for a while now. And nobody really talks about it. Bruce Willis has been making movies like this. I don't know if it's financial problems or, like I said, I'm speculating and I shouldn't. I don't know what causes these guys, if international financiers offer a lot of money, because that's one of the jokes I made at the beginning was, thanks so-and-so Media Capital for making this movie. Like you look at the credits of this movie and you see all the producing credits of the different capital and organizations that make these movies. And I wonder how much of this money is just about money and these choices that they make, but that doesn't explain the choices that he made as an actor in this movie. And if somebody said that he had a son that had these problems, and this is what he chose, how he chose to represent someone like his son, if that's true, again, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Because this looked like a nightmare con character, and I know you and I have both been to cons, and we've both seen people that are like this.
Yeah.
I think other people in the chat were saying that they've seen people like this. I know Desiree knows people like this, but you don't. I've never seen him act like this way.
Yeah.
Not this bad, not this cartoonish. And it really paints fans like it just seemed like it wanted to show like look at how obsessed fans are.
Mm-hmm.
Like they make all of them like look crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just this movie just feels like it should have just been made by Fred Durst and kept for him to watch in the privacy of his own home. Where he can just sit there and be like, look at this happened to me, and I got my revenge. I got to make a movie about what happened to me. Because this feels like a narcissistic, movie, just for his own ends. I don't know, like to work out his own crap. And it just pisses you off. It's not funny. I guess if you think bad movie making is funny, sometimes it can be, but this just felt like it was mean spirited, and I don't use that very often because I don't like some people like said a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is mean spirited, but I'm like, well, you don't understand the characters in that from that world, but this just was mean spirited. It felt like to be mean-spirited. Like, even the way he handled John Travolta at the end. Like, if you're going to kill him, just kill him. He tortured him. And, and then just lets him go.
Oh, he felt sorry, didn't you know? He felt sorry for him there after watching him on the ground screaming because you poked out one of his eyes, blew off his fingers, and shot a gun by his ears. It took him torturing him to feel sorry for him, I guess. I don't know.
Scott, the link was in the comments section in the promo for the movie. And I left it up. I actually never took it down. But if you just went there, yeah, then the movie's we're not watching it anymore. We ended it a little while ago, but I don't know why the link wouldn't work unless you don't have Amazon Prime, and then you wouldn't be able to watch it either way. But everybody else's links, I believe, worked. So we'll try to. I might have to start putting the link on Twitter then if people aren't getting it on YouTube. I apologize for that if you did not get to watch it. And say an hour ago, if you clicked on it and it wouldn't let you in, I apologize. But yeah, definitely ready to move on to it. This is like Guns Akimbo that we did was like, oh, okay. It was kind of what we expected. I felt it was a little better than I expected. And I felt like it was at least entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And then going into this, when we thought, oh, we're going to have some laughs, and they weren't there.
No, it was nothing like I thought it was going to be after hearing what other people had talked about this. It was nothing. Look, I could see it like this. Okay, you have a director that won't tell his actor no, because Fred Durst would never tell John Travolta, don't do this. He, like you said, he was just like, oh, I got John Travolta to play his part. I better not piss him off real quick, right? You got John Travolta, who probably should be playing a character that is not mentally handicapped, just someone that's, a little obsessed, right? I think that would have made a little more sense because, then you could root against him, right? He would be like a movie villain if he was just, he was just really into this actor, right? But no, he clearly plays someone with a mental handicap that they don't address. And it's like, oh, is that what you think of people like this? Is that they can just, and granted, left unchecked, they could be, because if they're not getting the help they need, they could be, but it doesn't mean they will. And if the movie just would have addressed it, it would have helped. Again, it wouldn't have made this a good movie, I don't think, because it went from somewhat his character choices were somewhat interesting at first, but then as the movie went along, they just started getting more and more ridiculous. Like you said, Fred Durst just said, "Go, John, just make movie magic." And John just like, "I'm going to imitate." It's like, "Get me a hockey mask, a knife, and a can of gasoline. I'm going to imitate 2 movies during this scene." Right. And it just, the movie is, it's not funny. It's insulting. Yeah, I was insulted watching this movie. And again, I wanted to laugh at it. And again, at the very first, before I really knew anything, I'm like, oh, I've got a few ideas for a few jokes here. And then it turns into what it turns into. And it just angered me. So yeah, I can't recommend this movie to anybody at all.
I'm trying to get my camera back here again. It's decided to go off again on me. But yeah, thank God I got this new camera right coming up. Wow, it's just really not wanting to come back now. Well, yeah. Well, maybe it's this. Maybe it's the movie. Maybe it's like saying this movie doesn't deserve any more time being spent on it. Now I'm just getting irritated. Anyway, yeah, you can still hear me at least.
Yeah.
I should have put my avatar there. Have that ready for next time. Maybe it'll pop up in a second. I don't know. But yeah, I don't recommend this movie to anyone. Bill's saying that John Travolta's son had autistic son who died of a seizure, and because Scientology is anti-medication. So, I don't know. Like, again, I try not to speculate and get into his life because I don't know his life, but I mean, it doesn't seem like things have been going too well for him, and I don't know. I hope that I want to go back to the theater one of these days and see John Travolta in a trailer for something, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. After this kind of movie, maybe he should take more than just a couple of days off.
Yeah.
And see if he even wants to come back to acting or whatever. But because it was just sad. It was a sad experience for everyone. And Fred Durst shouldn't be allowed to direct movies or anything based on his life, for sure. Let's, I want to see the other end. Like, okay, so we got to see his version of events. Let's see the version of events from the person who, let's just see it from their perspective. Maybe we'll, I don't know. That's actually a terrible idea, but yeah, and the camera's not coming back. So that's pretty much, I guess, the movies, the reviews idea of saying, yeah, I think you guys have covered every topic that you need to cover for this. Do you have any last thoughts about this?
Yeah, my final recommendation is if you watch this, ask Amazon for your Prime subscription money back. That's it.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of bad movies on Prime, and more normally I'd say that's a good thing for people who want to, have a so bad it's good party. But when it's just
as far as Travolta movies go, I thought Gotti was bad.
Yeah, I still
Gotti look amazing. Gotti is amazing compared to this one. And
yeah,
that's saying a lot.
Yeah, and New Mutants, is freaking X2 right now. Right? It's Days of Future Past. It's I'm not gonna say it's Logan, but it's like compared to but it's at least as good as it makes those movies look as good as the higher end X-Men movies compared to this. I mean, I haven't seen a Travolta movie this bad since I don't know, what was that one with the Road Dogs or Wild Hogs or whatever?
Road Hogs or Wild Hogs. I don't
know. So anyway, guys, that's our take on the Fanatic. There's really not much else to say except don't watch it. Don't watch this movie.
For those of you that did, we are sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry, and I'm very sorry, and hopefully we can get this. This might be the last time I ever have to use this camera. Maybe this is the death knell of this camera, that I'll have it figured out by the new camera figured out tomorrow for my Lovecraft Country review for tomorrow night. Because this does not bode well at all if it's not coming back at all for me. So, Geno, thank you so much for again joining us for another Amazon watch party. I know I'm going to try to get you for some more of these. Yeah, too late. How dare you? Sorry, Desiree. Sorry, especially because. Yeah, because I know that everybody's going through tough times right now. I know Deborah's out there in California where the wildfires are messing up so much stuff, and you got the hurricanes down by Desiree in Texas, and here where Bill and Geno and I are at, it's like 90 degrees and no rain and humidity, and people it's just a mess everywhere. And here, what did we do? We just made things worse. We made things worse in an hour and a half. So
can we all just be in agreement that Fred Durst made everything worse?
Oh yeah, Fred Durst. Yep. He's rolling. Oh
Hurricane Durst.
You said it wasn't funny, but that way using rolling when he was on the moped did make me laugh. That did make me laugh because that was I really wanted that to be in there. That would have been so freaking amazing. And honestly, I think, and before I go, I guess it's just one last thought, is I honestly might have thought that this movie would have been better with a higher body count. If he had just started killing everybody, like everyone, like the security guard, the guys who were hassling him, the paparazzi person, the guy that sold him the vest. Like, you sold me the vest, I'll kill you. He didn't sign it. Just.
I really thought that's where this was going to go.
If they had just gone full on rampage, maybe this would have had some kind of redeeming quality laugh wise. But anyway, guys, we will be back one of these days with another watch party. I will discuss off the air when we might be able to get Geno back for another watch party, or maybe he'll do one of his own. Who knows? Hey, I know.
They just did put Peter Butter Falcon on Amazon.
Yeah, I just watched that for the first time.
That's an amazing movie.
We'll figure something out. And otherwise, look out for my Lovecraft review tomorrow. I don't know, what have you got going on? I know I just saw your Bill and Ted review. That's up. The New Mutants review is up. I watched a little of your Shaq Fu review.
Oh, all 3 hours of it?
I watched some of the Shaq Fu. Yeah. I watch a lot of stuff.
I will say, for those here, the whole thing isn't Shaq Fu. You'll have to watch it to find out, because it didn't take me 3 hours to beat both Shaq Fu games. There's a little special thing on that I didn't know about until I finished Shaq Fu. So you'll have to check it out. And it's honestly, I kind of wish the whole game was that. This surprise at the end for those that haven't seen it yet. I think it's like the last, I don't know, 45 minutes or so. I don't remember how much time it was, but it was pretty fun. It was pretty funny. I will say how ridiculous it got. Shaq Fu itself wasn't fantastic, but at least it made fun of itself. I really don't have anything else planned at the moment. Of course, I'll be seeing Tenet in a week or so. I won't have a lot of time to work this next week, but I am going to try to start a new game, but I'm not going to say what it is yet, because I don't know how long it's going to take me to play. It might take me a while to do it. So we'll get there. After playing Shaq Fu, I needed, for like an entire day, I needed a break anyway.
Okay. All right. So I'm probably going to be on Twitch in a little bit, playing something. I don't even know what. And then tomorrow we'll be working on the camera, and then later on next week we've got The Boys season 2 reviews coming out, and on Dee's channel we'll be doing Fans of The Boys on the Tuesdays after the new episodes roll out weekly. You can look forward to that. So like new reviews for The Boys will be on Fridays. Fans of The Boys will be on Tuesdays, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. rewind videos on Wednesdays, and Twitch and all sorts of other stuff going on. There's a lot of things happening here, and look out for more comic reviews. And if things work out with this camera, we'll get to do some really interesting things with those comic reviews. So thanks for watching this, guys. I know we kind of rambled on here for about 40 minutes, but it's like half the length of this movie, and I think we had more things to say than this movie had to say in the first 40 minutes. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, Geno. You want to tell everybody where they can find you?
You can find me at The Real Geno on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff.
All right. And with that, everyone, have a great night. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.
Bye.
Hopefully with a camera attached to it. Bye.